Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, I'm excited. This whole thing started with e.l.f. because we have the new e.l.f. concealer, the new e.l.f. putty primer. We have all that good stuff, including the jelly highlight, might I add. And then I was like, oh wait, new stuff from Makeup Revolution? Better have that. Couple new things from Catrice? I better have those. And before I knew it, we had a full face of newness from the drugstore, and I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and jump in real quick with what is on my brows, which is not my normal from ColourPop. I know, weird. This is the Catrice Eyebrow Stylist in 025 Perfect Brown. And I wanted to start off with this because you guys know I'm very set in my ways, but I wanted to branch out. I wanted to try something different. So when I went in with this, the first thing obviously you are going to notice is that it is a regular pencil, meaning you will have to sharpen this anytime it runs low or anytime you want like that perfect point, you will have to continue to sharpen it as a pencil. Myself personally, I can't stand doing that. It drives me insane, but I did want to give it a try anyways, just because it's only $3.99 and it's from Catrice and I really like them as a brand. So when I went in, I don't have an issue with the color. I didn't have an issue with the creaminess. It went in, it shaped out. My brows look okay, but for me, definitely not something I would probably reach for again because I love a good precision arch. I love to get in there and be able to not only arch and like carve out my brows before concealer, but I also really love being able to sketch them out. And in order to go in and really sketch them out precisely, I like to have something that I can constantly either twist up or have a way of making it sharp all the time. And I just, for me, this wasn't the way to do that. But as far as the product itself, if you don't mind a pencil like this and you're looking for a good inexpensive option, I think this is a really good one. If you are like me and you don't have a ton of brow hair, you might find it a little difficult because you really have to go in and fill in so much of your brow with it that it can dull the pencil quite quickly. But if you have a lot of hair and you're looking to just like fill in sparse areas, it's really nice. And again, for $3.99, I was like, girl, we have to know, is it good? And I'm actually pleasantly surprised with it. So for what that's worth, again, it's not my aesthetic, but for $3.99, consistency, spoolie, I think it's a good option if you're trying to get into the hang of brows. It is very easy to use. So after the Catrice pencil, I went in with my first product from e.l.f., their new brow gel. This is their Wow Brow Brow Gel. Now guys, in addition to being released in 4 colors, for $4. This also has the little micro hairs, which is really nice if you like that more full look to your brows. It's so good to have a brow gel that actually has those little micro hairs in them. Now, every day when I do my makeup, I actually go in with brow gel twice, which I know is really weird, but my hair, I don't have a ton of brow hair, but what I do, girl, she does not sit when she is told to sit. So I always have to apply a little bit like now in the beginning stages, and then when my face is all done and I'm like setting my face, we're talking completion, I have to go in with a little bit more and run through them one more time just to make sure there's no powder or anything in there that shouldn't be. Now, not only is that how I do it on like a daily basis, but I also love it in instances like this where I'm testing out a new brow gel, because when I go in for that second coat, I'll really be able to see, you know, did the hair stay nice and thick and like matted down? Did they stay where they were put, or did they like start going willy-nilly? So I did go ahead, I applied my first coat of that, and yeah, I think it went on really well. And I went in with the shade Brunette, which is the lighter of the two shades, but I also have the shade Deep Brown, because like I said, e.l.f. only did come out with these 4 shades. I was really happy that they were at least 4 very different shades with different undertones. They weren't even close to the same color, which I thought was really nice. So anyways, that is what is on my brows. So next up, I'm going to go in and start applying my foundation. I went ahead and I already primed, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about while I go in with my foundation. That way I can speed this along and do 2 things at once. So on this side of my face, I went in with the new e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, because so many of you guys wanted to know my thoughts and opinions, because you know how much I love the Tatcha Silk Canvas, which is on this side of my face. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that while I go in with some foundation. And for foundation, I'm going to be using my Catrice HD in 010 Light Beige, and I will be going in with a lighter amount of this because we're going to be using, of course, the e.l.f. concealers, and I really want to show you how those work on the face and how beautiful, spoiler alert, the coverage is. So going into the primers, here's my thing. They are both very similar. I can understand 100% why everyone is saying that e.l.f. might be a dupe for Tatcha, because the consistency is very similar. The effect on the skin, the effect on the pores, very similar. Even the way they apply and like settle into the skin, very similar. Over time throughout the day, that's where I find the difference lies between the two. I think that the Tatcha wears slightly better better than the e.l.f. one does, but I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like for the difference, I would 100% pick up and try the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. If you are looking for a dupe, if you're even considering that it might work for you, it is worth it, because they were probably, like, if I had to throw a percentage at it, I would say they're about 85 to 90% the same exact product. I know there was one or two ingredients that were different on them, but guys, overall, so freaking impressed with the way that the e.l.f. one sat on the skin. Now, as you can see, applied my foundation on top of both sides. I think the way that they sink in is so similar. However, what did I just say? There's like an 85% similarity. The 15% that I think is very different is in the consistency of the e.l.f. product. When I apply it, it has almost like a slippery or a more greasy feel to it. Not greasy in like a bad way, but it has more of a slip to it than the Tatcha side does. And I think what that does is when I'm wearing it throughout the day, it does cause my e.l.f. side to get a little bit more oily in the T-zone, because as of late, I have been more normal skin, with my T-zone being the most oily part of my face throughout the day. And I feel like very consistently when wearing both side by side, it doesn't matter which side, like I've swapped the sides, I've swapped the regions, just to make sure that I had a very good understanding. And I feel like it's because of that slipperiness that on the e.l.f. side, I do experience more oil and a quicker oil throughout the day, whereas on the Tatcha side, it still gets oily, but it's a little bit later. Now guys, the e.l.f. primer is $8. So do I think that for the huge price difference between that and the Tatcha, that that's a reason to just be like, no, I'm not playing with the e.l.f. I might get a little oily. I might get oily faster. No, definitely give it a try. So guys, now we're gonna jump into the product that I was so excited about, like on a spiritual level. And as I worked with this throughout the last week, I was gagged at how much I love this. It is the new e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. It was released in 18 shades. It is $5. And in the description on the Ulta website, which of course is where I picked this up, it says this is their most full coverage long wear formula ever. Camouflage those pesky spots and under eye circles with this high coverage, crease resistant 16-hour wear camo concealer. This creamy, dreamy formula glides on to help conceal dark circles and blemishes, and can also be used to highlight and contour the face. Now, after description, before application, I'm going to throw in here right now, the shade range, in my opinion, not that great for deep to medium skin tones. I feel like there's not enough. There's maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 shades on the deep skin tone side, and maybe like 4 or 5 in the medium-ish range, and medium with air quotes because it's not even that medium. So the medium to deep skin tone range, I don't really enjoy. I think it's kind of lackluster. Now, as far as the way that they broke down the fair shade range, I actually quite like it. The differences are minute from one shade to the next, which I don't have an issue with. I like that each undertone, like I said, is represented. My biggest issue with these is how I wish they would have taken that same thoughtfulness into each of the other shade ranges, but also transitioned from one shade to the next. And as you saw, the transition from Fair Rose into Light Sand was a very stark transition. So I guess overall, as far as the color spectrum goes, I like where they started. I like the ground that they kind of laid for this launch. As far as the shades, the undertones, and the way that they spec'd it out, I think it's very thoughtful. However, I have an issue with the actual inclusivity of the shades. You know what I mean? Like it looks good. The construction is just a little off. So e.l.f., I'm really hoping that you guys do go in and you expand your shades. Because guys, this concealer, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm impressed. I've been using it, like I said, for the last week here. This is the shade Fair Warm, which on my skin is the brightest. Like, it is, the coverage is ridiculous. And I'm going to actually, you know what, I'm only going to do one eye. Now, you guys can see how much concealer I went in with. Not very much. And that's going to be teachable moment number 1, if you will. Because, y'all, this stuff is so full coverage. The conceal aspect is so freaking amazing. So now I'm going to tell you guys first, you saw how much I added, right? Not very much. Tip number 1, when working with this concealer, less is definitely more. I found when I went in with my normal amount of concealer, it actually got very kind of thick and cakey. So definitely do not overuse this product. When I tell you guys, you don't need to, you don't need to. It is such beautiful coverage. The staying power is beautiful. It makes my under eye look so nice and bright. I'm just going in as well and using this to really pad out my entire face and reshape my face. I think the reason it's so beautiful on the skin is because it is so rich in pigment that when you apply it, it has a very lightweight feel because you need such a little amount and it just spreads stunningly. Now, as far as the finish on the the skin. I don't think it's as matte as Tarte Shape Tape. It's a little bit less than that. And the way that it dries down is less mattifying than Tarte Shape Tape, which is nice. Now, because of that, it might be a little tricky on those of you with the normal to dry skin, but for $5, I would say pick it up anyways just to try it and see if you can use it, because you need such a small amount of this product to really go in and give you beautiful illuminated coverage. Like, I'm so over the moon impressed with this. I love it. I will keep working with it, but definitely worth checking out and seeing if it works for you. So now we're going to move on to powders, and oh girl, powders. Oh, just kidding, girl. It's not time for powder yet. Girl forgot we had this nice jelly highlight. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Highlighter in the shade Bubbly. And y'all, look at that reflection. Oh my good word. It is so intense, so reflective. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the first question on everybody's mind. Is this a Farsali dupe? In my opinion, no. I find that the Farsali one is actually thicker in consistency than this one is. This has a very thin, almost oil feeling base to it. So I'm a little bit apprehensive to actually put it on my face and see if it removes my foundation, but I am going to take just a tiny bit here on my finger and apply it on this upper area, and I'm gonna, I think, just blend it out actually with my finger too. Why not? And see how she looks. Ooh, girl, she's got some brightness to her. Okay, so it's not bad. It's not lifting up my foundation yet. Let me go in with just a little bit more, kind of build it up. Anytime I go in with a cream highlight of any kind, I always work in layers, just in case there's an issue with foundation. I can like stop while I'm ahead. And now I'm gonna go in with my beauty sponge here and press that into the skin. Oh no. Oh my God, it looks so bad. Hold on a second. Guys, do you see what happened here? It like lifted the entire strip of foundation right there. Oh my God. Okay, that looks actually atrocious. Okay, now we're gonna try and fix it. Cool. So remember a couple minutes ago how I said this had more of an oil feeling base to it, how it felt really slippery on the skin and oily? Yeah, I'm thinking that's an accurate assessment because, girl, look at what she just did. Oh my God. Okay, this is bad. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Catrice and I'm gonna try to fix it. I'm gonna just grab a little makeup wipe here and see if I can maybe like lift this section up and then just go in and fix my foundation. Okay, because I haven't set anything, this shouldn't be too big of an issue, hopefully. Okay, so obviously that was a no-go, but I went ahead and I fixed everything up. I definitely would not use that highlight on top of my foundation, which I had a feeling going into it that was gonna be the case because it had that oily feel. I knew it, but that's okay. Nonetheless, maybe I'll try it later on, maybe mixed in with foundations, and we'll see if that works. But moving on to powders, I'm so excited. These are the new shades from Makeup Revolution of their loose baking powder, and now with these two shades added, they have a total of 7 shades. So the 2 shades I have, I don't know if I said this or not, are Translucent and Banana Light, which I'm so excited that they came out with a Banana Light because I have always wanted to try their banana powder, but it was way too deep for my skin tone. Like, I looked at it and I was like, no way, girl. So I did pick up both of these today, and I'm excited because they're supposed to be like iconically great. And when I was showing you guys the inserts, I did try to insert them in the best way that would show the differences. So I went ahead and I actually sprinkled the color onto the cap itself to show you the difference between the Banana Light and the Translucent. And there actually is a difference, which is cool. The Banana Light, I think, will be great for medium skin tones that are on the lighter side. So they still want that nice banana brightening effect to the under eye, but they don't want to go full translucent and have like a negative or a gray cast under their eye. So I thought this was a really good differentiations of color. And on my skin tone, I have a feeling Translucent would probably be best, but girl, we're going to try both. So let me go ahead here and I'm going to sprinkle some of this Banana Light into the cap a little bit, maybe a little bit more than that though. Let's not be stingy, girl. So now before I go in with this Banana Light shade and like put it under my eyes, I'm going to take a tiny bit here. This is my Sigma P82 Precision brush, and I'm going to take just a little bit and I'm going to try applying it to like this area next to the eye, just because I want to see if it's going to be an okay color, and it actually doesn't look bad. Okay, it's a little bit dark. This is probably a shade I could use to like set my face if I wanted to. Okay, so given the tone of that, I'm actually going to introduce these other 2 products just so you guys can see the scope of what I'm working with. These are the new Makeup Revolution Bake and Blot powders, which I have the shade White and Translucent, and I'm introducing these because I might need them to lightly set the rest of my face and I don't want to overdo it. So at this point, I'm going to throw them out there. I'm not 100% sure what the application will be, but we might use them, we might not. Let's go ahead and see. How did that settle into this area though? I actually quite like it. I'm just not loving that I am seeing up close, which you probably can't see on camera, but there's a very slight yellow cast that's a little bit too dark for me. So let me go ahead, I'm going to re-pat out my under eye, and then I'm going to apply the translucent shade, this nice bright white one right here. I'm going to try applying that on the under eye and seeing if maybe that goes a little better. Okay, so that's actually nice and bright on my under eye, which makes me really happy because I'm going to be honest, y'all. When it comes to the drugstore, when they say translucent, I feel like half the time it turns like green or something on my under eye and it looks so bad. So because my skin has been more on the normal side, I think the way I want to work this is I'm going to take my beauty sponge here and I am going to tap into this translucent shade and I'm going to basically bake the other areas of my face. So for eyes, I have a couple of different options. I have the Makeup Revolution Prime and Lock Longwear Eyeshadow Primer right here, which look at this big beefy bottle. Okay, and then in addition to that, I have the Catrice Eye Foundation, which is a waterproof eyeshadow primer, and I guess it is a matte formula. So now after I went through and I swatched both of these, which I show you in the close-up, the one from Makeup Revolution, the Prime and Lock, almost looks like a concealer on the lid, which I think is really awesome. That's like my preferred aesthetic. And the one from Catrice has more of a clear viscosity. So if I had to compare them, I would say the Makeup Revolution has the type of coverage that the Eden Urban Decay Primer Potion has, whereas the Catrice option has the original Urban Decay Primer Potion, the one in the purple bottle, that has a good base to it, but it doesn't have the coverage that the other one has. So that's kind of the difference as far as how they look on the lids. Myself personally, I'm more of a coverage queen, so let's go ahead and apply this to the lid up here. I have a little bit of concealer, but not anything that would actually help me. So I'm just going to take a little bit of it here, and I'm going to work it out with my finger and see if I like the way that this looks or not. Okay, I feel like this one was really deceiving because it looked like, even in the swatches, as you guys saw, it looked like it was going to have a ton of coverage to it and be like really opaque. And then when I put it on and I blended it out, it definitely was neither of those things. Now on the other side, I'm going to use the Catrice option, which has next to no coverage. So they're gonna match. That's great. Let's go ahead and just apply the Catrice here. Ooh, see, the Catrice one at least feels nice and smooth, even if it doesn't have any coverage to it. It has a really good like velvet feel, which is nice. It feels way better than the Makeup Revolution one did. Now we're going to go into eyeshadow, and originally I was very excited about this, and then I swatched it. This is the e.l.f. Rose Gold Sunset Palette. I actually got this as a free gift with purchase when I purchased this entire order, and let me tell you, I think it looks pretty. I think in theory it would make a beautiful eye look. My issue with this is when I was swatching it, it was so lackluster. Now some of the mattes were great, some of them looked beautiful in swatch, so we are going to give it a shot. I'm just a little bit weary, so that's why I'm leaving my eye bases unset, so that way I can really get out as much pigment as possible. So we're going to start by going in with my stained Morphe M456 brush. It's very stained, but there's nothing that comes off on it, so we're good to go there. And I think I want to start by going in with this orangey shade right here, and I'm going to lay that into the crease and pray. I will say when it comes to e.l.f. and their matte shades, I have it's their other bar palette, and I think it's Mad for Mattes. That is such a beautiful palette. Like, can't take that away from them, but the shimmers I have dealt with, oh my god, like they are painful. So I'm really hoping for the best from this one, and this matte shade is not disappointing. This is beautiful. Now we're not doing anything super crazy or exciting, so I think I'm just gonna build up the outer V of both eyes using the same brush and these two deep browns right here, and we're just gonna focus on making it nice and deep and sultry. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now, those mattes, oh my god, are so beautiful. I'm having like a moment with how beautiful and like creamy and luscious those are. I'm so in love with those. I'm like, I don't even want to touch the shimmers because I feel like I'm setting myself up for severe disappointment. Now, as far as shimmers, I think I'm going to try and go in with that guy. But first, we're going to go in with another new product from Makeup Revolution. These are the new Cut Crease Canvas. They are a full coverage eyeshadow base. I have the shade Halo, which is the white shade, and Illustrate, which is the more light tone kind of bone color. And they did say on the packaging, application brush included. And it's interesting because the application brush that they included on these is a very fat little brush. It's not super precise looking. I did try to get you guys a good up close shot of it. I'm going to try and apply with that brush to the lid, and we're just going to see how it goes, because I'm wondering if in their mind that brush will really work well. It just looks a little fat to me. Like, it looks a little bit chody to work on my lids. So the first thing I'm noticing is, can you do it with that brush? Probably, like, technically, yes. Would I choose to? No. I feel like it's giving me too much product on my lid, and it's just very thick. So I'm just going in and kind of spreading around what I have on there and redefining my point. Now I am going to go in, per usual, you guys know I always go in with a little bit of glitter glue. So I'm going to grab my Nyx Glitter Glue and apply this over top of that base. And this is not a crazy step. This is something I do every time, whether I go down with a base, a concealer, anything. I always add in a little glitter glue, just because my lids have a really difficult time making anything stick. So this is my preferred step. If you don't need to do this, you obviously don't have to. But now we're going to go in with that yellow shade, and we're going to pack that on and pray. You're testing me. You are testing me. Okay. Okay. If this is a test, Jesus, I am picking it up. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I smell what you're stepping in, sir. I'm going to go in with this orange shimmer in the palette, and I'm going to apply some of this out on the outer portion here of this cut crease, just to give me something to blend off into the deeper part of the outer V right here. I'm a little bit apprehensive for how long this bake has been on here. Maybe I should wipe one side off just to look at it and see if it needs to kind of, you know, get the hell out of there real quick. And then what I'm doing is I'm using that leftover powder to kind of lightly set the rest of my face. So I'm just going to like lightly take this and kind of dust it upwards and set that cheek, because I don't really want to go in with a ton of extra powder today. Yeah, okay, under the eyes, I don't know that it's a great powder for me. It's a little bit too heavy, but the whole face actually looks really good with that powder on it. And again, a very nice light set. I don't hate it. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do this eye, and I'm going to try not to get glitter all over my face now. And when I come back, we've got more stuff to go over. Yeah. Okay, so I went ahead, I finished up the eyes, and I didn't add like lashes or anything because I have to set my face first, girl. Y'all know it is a messy situation if I try to put mascara on before I set my face. But I did go ahead and, like I said, finish up the eyes. And while I was finishing up the eyes, I went ahead and I tested out two new liners from e.l.f. as well. This is their H20 Proof Eyeliner Pen and the No Budge Retractible Liner. And I'm going to be honest with you, at first, the giant felt tip liner, I was a little bit worried about, because when I went in and I was doing my inserts, it did appear to bleed a little bit too much on my hand. And I was like, oh girl, I don't know if I'm going to like this for a wing. But when I got done with my eyes, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So I went in and I applied it. I did a very small, subtle wing. It was a little difficult to work with, which is why my wings are not exactly perfect. I feel like it has a good length to it as far as a liner goes, but the actual movement of the felt tip itself is a little bit stiff for me personally. I'm used to working with the Tom Ford one, which has a little bit more bend in it, but overall, as far as an affordable, you know, felt tip liner goes, it's not bad. It is feathering a tiny bit, I'm noticing, on like the inner portion of my eye. So I am going to wait to see if that continues to bleed and feather, or if it's like just going to stop, because I don't mind a little bit of feathering, but a lot, I'm just like, no, I ain't got time for this. Now let's go ahead and move on to something that I know I don't want to say I know, but I'm confident that I will like this. This is the Catrice Shape in a Box contouring palette. I love these palettes from Catrice. They were actually just in my 2018 makeup favorites, which I can link up here. They have their shade in a box or whatever, and it had like 4 or 5 shades in it. They are so good. Their powders like this are so nice and refined. So I'm excited. I'm going to go in with this middle shade here on the Morphe M527 brush, and I'm going to take and use this to contour the face. And girl, these usually have a lot of colors, so I'm nervous. Where's my mirror? Hello. Also, I lost all of my large mirrors, so I'm just sitting here using whatever little mirror I have, hence the Hourglass. If you were wondering, like, Paige, where's your mirror? Oh, there we go. Yes, sculpting of the face. I am obsessed. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, for my skin tone, is this a little bit dark? Yes, it's a little bit rich in pigment, so be mindful if you are on the fair side to go in and really tap your brush off. But look at that color. Like, the color is beautiful. So I was just going through looking at the back of the palette here as far as what they actually say or would recommend these powders be used for. And it says this middle shade is the contour. It says shape the face contours. Okay. And then this one over here says highlight, accentuate the desired areas of the face, which if you are like a medium skin tone, that would probably work for you. For me, that's a little bit too dark, but it's still a nice silky powder. And then it says this white shade over here is fix. Apply underneath the contour line for more definition and to fix the final makeup look, which is exactly what I was just talking about. So let's try that. And we're just gonna hit it a little bit back here, nothing too crazy. Typically, whenever I go in and do this part, I only keep it near like the ear, just because I don't like carrying that definition all the way down my face. Some people love it, but for my face shape, as in spaceship, no. But for my face shape, it just does not work. So I just like to take and pull mainly, again, in the back toward the ear there. Guys, I just got so excited. I realized it is time for the product I am so excited for. Like, I was excited for concealer and for primer. But then there's my blush. These are the new blushes from Catrice. They are blush in a box. They are water and sweat proof, or so it says. And I'm so excited about these. Guys, these are so freaking cute. Now, every single one of these blushes has a little saying on it. For example, the first one here says, be brave, be you, and it's in the shade 060 Bronze. And then every single one going forward, and I did pick up all 5, by the way. Yeah, all 5, because I love blush. These are so stinking pretty. I do have them swatched. We're going to go ahead and throw them up here for you. So we have the shade 060 Bronze, and then we have the shade 020 Glistening Pink, then 030 Golden Corral, 040 in the shade Berry, and then lastly we have 050 in Burgundy. Now, as far as what color I'm feeling, I really want to play with this bronze shade because I love when I do like a nice orange eye like this, I love to go in with a bronze blush. It gives me feelings. So I'm going to go in with my Sigma Large Angled Contour. This is the F40. We're just going to go in here and we're going to hit the cheek and pull it back a little. Oh, I love this. Oh my God in heaven. This is my shade. This is my life. Moment of silence for all my other blushes because I just died. Oh my God. Guys. This is beautiful. And it has, can you see, there's like a slight, okay, I'm going to try it on this side. There is a slight sheen on my cheek right now, and it is so beautiful. My cheeks look flushed and blushed and happy. I can't even explain it to you. Oh my God. So now I'm going to grab this big old Wet n Wild brush here, big old fluffy beast, and I am going to dust away this defining powder back here. So I'm going to grab the Bacon Blot from Makeup Revolution in the white shade, and I do want to try tapping up some of that right up under my under eye. I'm going to tap it up there. Tap, tap, tap. She bright. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm glad we had this talk because we love a bright white under eye. That's really white though. Probably should blend it out ASAP. Okay. Because that's a lot. That was very bright. So I think what we've learned here, after doing it both ways, Beauty Blender is a little too intense, so instead take your tulip brush and just use that and really just maybe pack it on and then kind of dust at the same time. A pack-in brush, if you will. So before we move on to highlight, I'm going to set my face. This is my Urban Decay All Nighter. So next up, obviously, girl, we have some highlights, and I have both of the big old palettes here from Makeup Revolution, and obviously I think that the Warm Lights is the one that I will be gravitating towards, but I did go ahead and swatch both for you guys, and I was a little bit disappointed. I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat it. The Pinky Cool one did not swatch very well at all. I really had to get in there and dig just to get the highlight you guys are able to see, and the consistency was very off-putting. But then when I went in and I swatched the Warm one, it was a little bit better as far as the consistency. So I'm not like over here expecting a lot, but I'm also like, please God, don't wreck it because my makeup's looking kind of good. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this beast, and I'm thinking probably this lighter shade right here. Yeah, I'm not living for this. It's looking kind of chunky on my face too. It's not, it has a decent like shine to it. It's just not doing it for me. Oh, they're looking powdery. Oh no. Okay, so it has a decent amount of shine right there. They both do, but at the end of it, like, I'm not loving the almost chalk factor that they're giving my skin. Ugh. These are a pass. No thank you. I'm gonna find a better highlight. A highlight I actually like. Ofra, Star Island. It's the one that was closest. So we're just gonna take a little bit of that. Oh, huh, okay. Wow, it's almost like Ofra was meant for me. I don't think it'll pick up on camera, but it is real like chalky and textured up in this area. Way more than it should be with an Ofra highlight. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to break the rules just for 1 second because I want to be fair to everybody. And I'm going to grab my Hourglass powder here and I'm going to grab this fluffy brush and I'm going to do some of this and try to fix it. Because it's not fair to make all the other products look sketchy just because of one bad highlight in the bunch. It's not fair. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run off of camera. I'm going to do something with the hair, and then I'm going to set the rest of the face, call it a day, and I will be right back to give you some final thoughts on what's going on this face. Okay, you guys, I went ahead, I finished up the rest of my face, and I am pleasantly surprised with how this entire thing turned out. Now, I'm going to run through real quick and give you a real quick overview of what I think, but I'm going to run through a couple extra things I added whilst I was away. So the first thing I did is I lined my lips with the Buxom lip liner in Covert Affair, and then in the center of that, I added Incognito. These are two of my favorite liners from Buxom, and then over that, I played around with this, which I've never used. This is the Essence Shine 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 lip gloss, and it's the clear one. I've never used this, and I've heard so many people rave about this. It is so nice. Like, I'm obviously going to keep working with it because this is the first time I've tried it, but I love the way that this went on and the consistency and the shine. Like, damn, girl, I love this. Like, I'm impressed. This combo is stunning, and it worked really well with this eye look. So anyways, that's that. And then I also went in with Lily Mink Miami lashes because your girl needed a little something to give her, you know, some pizzazzle. And I think that's everything as far as what I added. Now I am going to run through, obviously, like I said, the rest of what's on my face. We already know I've tried the Putty Primer and I've tried the e.l.f. Concealer. Both of those are great. I will continue to use them. I'm so impressed with that concealer. It's not even funny. So those I'll definitely keep working with. So other than that, we had the Makeup Revolution, the powders, the pressed ones, as well as these loose guys. I actually quite like both of them. I might not want to bake with it so intensely under the eyes just because I think it might dry them out a little bit. But for the most part, I think both of those powders were great. The pressed ones were really nice, and they did a great job at really blending over the skin, pressing into the skin, and brightening the under eye, which is key. So I loved that. I really liked this Sculpt in a Box right here from Catrice, but I'm not surprised. Those freaking blushes from Catrice, home run. As far as the eye bases go, I do prefer the Catrice, which was on this side. I felt like I had a lot easier time blending it out and working the shadows on top of it. The Makeup Revolution one wasn't bad, but I did, as I finished up my look, start to see a little breakage on the inner portion of my eyes, so I'm not a huge fan of this one. This one I think is my winner for sure. The Cut Crease from Makeup Revolution isn't a bad consistency, actually. The opacity is really nice. It laid down all the shadows quite well. I will keep working with those, but I thought as far as a concept, it was a good concept. It's a good starting point. I don't know if it would be worth purchasing an extra item just to have it as a concealer base, if that makes sense. The brow gel from e.l.f., I don't hate this brow gel, but I did find that it didn't hold my eyebrows up where I want them to be. They kept kind of falling down when I went to go and apply my brow bone highlight. I noticed they were kind of slouching into the lower area where they're not supposed to be. So for that reason, I don't think it's bad. It just doesn't give me a ton of grip and hold. Now with that being said, guys, that rounds out this video. That is everything. I know this video was painfully long and I apologize, but I really wanted to give you all of this new stuff from the drugstore and let you guys know what I think, what I love, what I don't love, what's going on, and just give you all the tea, especially on those big hit items for e.l.f. that I know so many people want to talk about and wanted to know the tea on. So let me know down below what items specifically from this video were you like so excited to look at and see them in action. But I also want to know what's being released that you're like, oh, I want to know. I want to know, because I have a couple things that I'm like excited to review, but I want to know if y'all are excited for them, because if not, I might cry. So let me know all of your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, you can scuttle on up to the description box and check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm on both all the time. And you can also subscribe if you have not yet, because I upload Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 5 days a week. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan, which is bright and early if you want to get up, hang out with me when you go to work, when you're going to the gym, when you're getting the kids ready, when you're just sitting down having a cup of coffee, maybe doing your own makeup. We can hang out together. So definitely subscribe and come back for that. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Let's go ahead and hit up those temples, girlfriend. Girlfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend. If you know what movie that's from, comment down below, because you should. It is a part, if you had anywhere close to a 90s childhood, I'll give you a hint. It involved Pauly Shore. That's all I'm going to say. And if you don't know what that's from, girlfriend, 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 except pretend these are keys. Oh my God, yes. New Wow Brow from e.l.f. Okay, this is the new Wow Brow, and it is obviously, it is so stinking. I tape them out with my concealer. We're good to go from there. However, no, that's wrong. Guys, I am ridiculously excited. So next up, we're going to dive into the most exciting product I have. I was dying to play with this from the moment it released. I'm just, okay. These are $3.99. So I'm going to hit the jawline a little bit back here. Girl, we got to keep that area. I look like I put parentheses. Oh well, that's fine. I've never looked better in my life. Okay. I mean, try not to hate me. I know it's hard right now because I look so great. We gotta browns up Doritos, browns up Doritos, gotta browns up Doritos if you want to eat the whole bag, the whole bag.